Hello, everyone. My internet has been very wonky this morning, so I hope see how it just did that little weird thing? I'm hoping that everything goes smooth this morning. Hello, welcome to Untangled. We are on episode 86, and I cannot see. Let me clean my glasses off. How are you guys? How's everyone doing? I can literally, my eyes have been so wonky lately. I can't even read um, the comments. Voila, let there be light. Hi, Colorado. Hello. So good to see you. So good to be here. Hi, Leslie. Good to see you, my friend. Hi, Bethany. Hi, Jamil, Mr. Floyd Channelings. Hello, hello. Hi, Marlene and Karen, Bridget, Ravonda. Hello. So good to see you, my friend. Hi, Shanna. It's good to see you. Wow. Hi, Una. You made it to Ireland. Yay. You're home for now. Hi, Sam. Hi, Liz. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Ingrid. Hi, Wesley. Um, Yay, burning up the road. Oh, you guys, it's so good to be here. For those of you that are brand new, have no idea what Untangled is, this is a series that I started about almost 2 years ago. And it is all about making the uncomfortable comfortable and unraveling our evolution in human consciousness as human and soul, standing on the planet, figuring out or remembering who we are, what we are doing here, why we are here, um, and really how to navigate through this with as much compassion and humility as possible for ourselves and for the rest of humanity. I apologize if the internet is wonky right now. It's something's happening. I did hear it's a full moon today, so maybe that's it. So welcome to my channel if you are new. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to get all of the updates and notifications when I go live. Also, if you are enjoying this video as you are watching it, please hit the thumbs up button because we live in a world now where, there are algorithms that control the way in which people see specific information. So let's play in it for a little bit and hit the thumbs up button. Okay, where do I start? I do want to do a lot of questions today. I want to answer questions, but I do want to talk a little bit about the retreat that I just put on. We did a 3-day retreat, felt like 10 minutes, but we did a 3-day retreat this weekend in the North Carolina Blue Ridge Mountains. And it was life-changing for many of us. It was life-changing for me. I haven't been the same since I got back. And what emanated through that workshop, that entire weekend, wasn't my teachings. It wasn't new information. It was an activation into the remembrance of who you are and why you're here. And what's so powerful about sort of these activations, or I like to call it like the Tetris, the Tetris game where it's like, and then it clicks in. So it moves through, I don't know, drops, and then clicks in. That's what happens when you have activations. So there's a click that happens unbeknownst to you. It's not even something that you're trying to do. And this click happens, and there's clicks that happen throughout your awakening, right? They happen out of the blue. They happen when you least expect it, and they happen effortlessly. And it's this click where you feel different, but you don't know what happened or like you don't have any control over these clicks of activations or um, deeper awareness and awakening. It just kind of slowly happens. And that's what happened this past weekend for many of us. And again, these little clicks that you're going to start to have more and more of, you don't necessarily have to come to the Remembrance workshop, which I'll be taking all over the world. So look out in the next year because I'm going to be doing this activation workshop for so many of us in person. But what I want you to recognize or start to embrace right now is that the more what I realized this weekend was we're not in control of how this process of awakening happens, except that we do have to take action steps to move towards um, a deeper sense of um, awareness, consciousness. So you're always aware of what's happening, where you are, what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, how you're reacting, how you're responding, right? You always have that um, awareness, and that awareness is continuing to grow. And through that simple awareness, you are choosing, right? So there's always this choice. But you're not in control of how things are necessarily going to unravel. The more you try to stay in control, like, okay, let's just take this retreat, this workshop, for example, excuse me. I'm going to go and I'm going to release this trauma I have, right? That's a real massive sense of control that you are trying to have. And then what happens is if you go to the workshop and you're so focused on, I'm going to release this trauma, then you're not open to whatever is available in those moments. And you're so solely focused on what you want, the ego wants to release or heal or blah, 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 that when you walk away, that may not be healed. And then you say to yourself, well, what the fuck was the point? Excuse my language. Like, what was the point? Why did I go? Or why did this happen? Or why didn't this trauma get healed? Because many times we're not in control as to the bigger reason why we are where we are or we're experiencing what we're experiencing. We always say, why? I want this to happen. I want this to happen. I want to release this. I want to let go of this, whatever that is, right? So we're trying to stay in control in a moments where you are not designed to be in control. So there's always something bigger that is available and happening for you, and it's by you, but you have to let go of the expectation or attachment of anything happening. And yet you're still making choice, right? So you're still choosing how you're going to be, how you're going to show up. And so what's happening for you and so many of us on the planet, and what happened to us this weekend is you could feel that we were relaxing into whatever was happening. We we didn't go into all kinds of like deep trauma work. We just didn't. We had massive breakdowns and cries and all of that, but we didn't focus on deep trauma work. We didn't focus on trying to fix people or change people or get people out of what they were in. We didn't do any of that. We we simply sat in a space that was so potent, so full of energy, and most of us stayed open to whatever was arising. There was very little expectation for most of us. And we just sort of sat in. Thank you, Martin, for the super chat. I look forward to seeing you at one of these events. I think you're down in Mexico somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe I'm wrong, but um, we have to start to stay open We have to start recognizing that the shifts are beginning to happen in the moments where we're trying to control it. Um, and it's powerful because that's where miracles happen. It's counterintuitive to how you have done things your whole life, right? It's counterintuitive to manifestation, it's counterintuitive to healing work, it's counterintuitive to everything. Um, but it's freaking miraculous. It really starts to show you how the quantum field works and how this energetic world works. So, how does this relate to you right now in your life? Well, I guarantee you, if you are anything like me, you still try to control a lot, right? You want to try to control where you're going, what you're doing, um, uh, maybe what you feel or what you think, how you want things to go, how you want other people to be. And so, first of all, that awareness is beautiful, right? There is something very powerful and profound, very humbling to recognize how we like to be in the driver's seat and be in control. Hello, Brittany. It's good to, or Brianna. It's good to see you again. Um, so have that awareness. Have the awareness of, wow, I'm really trying to control. I like being in control. I like that I have a focus. I like that I have a drive. I like that I am moving towards something. Um, I like that I am, um, committed to things and blah, blah, blah. 100%. And this isn't about necessarily letting that go or getting rid of that. But what I would encourage you to do as you are being aware of everything you're trying to control. Now, control isn't a bad thing. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. My mom, she's starting to go to the YMCA. She's 74. She's starting to go to the YMCA. She's going to start doing different classes. Why? Because she wants to get out and meet people. She wants to move her body in new ways. She doesn't want to just be stuck in her apartment, and so you could say, well, that's control. And I would say, well, no, that's just choosing how you want to be in life. I want to start meeting people. I want to start moving my body in new ways, right? So how we frame it, you want to be aware of just what you're in, how you're framing it. Like, oh wow, I'm choosing this, I'm choosing this. Sure, it's some sort of control, but it's okay. It's not really, but it kind of is, right? Not getting super caught up in like, oh my God, am I in a controlled state? Am I controlling something? Like, holy shit, should I just not want to be going to the what? Like we get really like ridiculous around this whole thing of awakening and moving through the journey of awakening, because awakening is awareness, and awareness can make you go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It can make you really go crazy. Um, so taking the example of my mom, it's like, okay, she's desiring the YMCA, she's desiring change and shifting and things. That's totally incredibly beautiful and courageous. Now, as she is choosing that, you want to simultaneously relax into it. So there is no expectation of how it's going to go. I've got to enjoy this. I've got to love this. I've got to stay for a certain amount of months. I must make sure I meet people. I must make sure that this changes the way that I'm feeling in my life, right? That's the type of control I'm talking about, where you think that you are in charge of how this goes and you're not. So there's this desire, YMCA, super cool, I can't wait. And then you want to imagine that you're throwing up your hands, okay? And you're like, however it unravels is exactly the way it's going to unravel. That's letting go and being in the flow state. So the flow state is not, which is no control. The flow state isn't that you aren't choosing how you want to be in this world and what you want to experience and the goals that you have. It's that you can do that as the human and with the personality, persona, and ego structure, but you're letting go of any sort of outcome, how you think it should be, how you think it should go. You're relaxing, you're letting it go, right? And that is where you start to receive the miracles. That's where you start to receive what's for your highest good, right? So for instance, this weekend, um, I had no expectation. I didn't know what was going to happen. Um, and every moment that I showed up, I was in something bigger than me. I was in life, and life was showing me, or like I was trusting that whatever was moving through me was what was for our highest good. I was trusting something bigger. And in life, this is what's happening for many of us. There's this sense of letting go, which feels extremely uncomfortable, very uncomfortable because you don't know what's next. You understand? You're not supposed to necessarily know what's next. However, you still are simultaneously choosing how you want to be in the world, and what you want to experience and the goals you want to set. So it's both. But we've got to let go of this really firm grip of how things are supposed to be, how things are supposed to go, what you want to have happen, what you expect to have happen. That is what we want to pay closer and closer attention to right now, is that those expectations, those attachments, those grabs. Hi, Katie. How are you, my friend? Hi, Mike H. So good to see you. Um, I wonder what it is when there are no choices to be made or had in the moment, like total void. Well, that, Sam, is it's a place that's what you guys will find yourself there more and more, where you're sort of it's like a pause, except it's a pause where you're still in life. Um, it's literally like you are it's the craziest feeling what you're describing, Sam, because um, it's presence. That is presence, or now, right? When you're present when you're in what is, there's nothing to think about in the past, there's nowhere to go in the future. So you're sort of like, what is happening now? If you have a super busy life, right, you're in a really stressful situation, um that may be more challenging to tap into because you're trying to survive, you're trying to figure out what's next, right? You're trying to create some sort of sense of um 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 homeostasis in your life, which is extremely honorable, and and mm, it's part of the human experience. So surviving, figuring out how to feel safe in the world, how to put food on the table, how to make sure your kids are safe, um, how to get through a divorce or navigate whatever you're going through, that's part of the human experience. Thank you, Starry Sky, for that super chat. Appreciate it. Um, that is all also part of what is right here, right now. Now, if you are experiencing your life where it's a lot quieter, it may be easier to feel the void, which is simply, wow, there's nothing to do, nowhere to go. And you'll find yourself in those moments of like, it's like your memory goes away. What you were supposed to do goes away. What you did in the past goes away. Like, what did I just do an hour ago goes away. Your motivation may go away, your determination may go away, your desires. It's like things start to kind of evaporate, and then they come back into the human experience. And then they evaporate, right, Kathy? And they come back into the human experience. So it's this really weird morphine that could be happening to a lot of you, where you're unbeknownst to you, again, you're not really in control. You're just starting to feel yourself like, what's the point of this kind of feeling? Where am I going? What am I doing? And then you'll click back into, oh yeah, I got to pay my bills, and I got to do this, and I got to do that, right? And then you'll find yourself sort of in this different space where it's like that floaty feeling again, right? And then you click back in, and you're motivated and you're determined. Um, so it's a real interesting kind of space that some of us may find ourselves in. Um, the other thing I want to bring in, I want to get to some questions, but I want to just remind everybody that we're all experiencing this shift in consciousness on the planet differently. We all might not be at the same experience. Some of us may be feeling that floatiness. Some of us may just be trying to figure out how to feel emotions. Some of us may be trying to navigate the fact that they have all these thoughts that are going through their heads and they don't know how to quiet the thoughts. Some of us may be in a massive depression, right? And just sunk in. Some of us may be realizing that all of these people are leaving and we're having to, hold much firmer boundaries than we ever have. We're finding our voice for the first time. Some of us may be realizing that we are in more bliss and more peace and more joy without doing anything. Um, so you can't be in it for too long, Bari. Like you can't you 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 have to trust. Thank you, Flory, for that super chat. Really appreciate it. You have to you have to trust that where you're at is where you're at. What you're in is what you're in, right? But you want to try to let go of the control of it. You also want to let go of trying to focus, okay, on it. Like you don't want to focus on um this is a challenging reminder, but when we focus too much on something, we fixate on it, and then it grounds into the experience and we drag it. We drag it with us through the river. So the practice is, how do I experience what I'm experiencing without fixating on it and trying to do something with it? Try reminding humans of that one. So if you are feeling super unmotivated, okay, if you focus on, oh my God, I'm unmotivated, I got to get out of this unmotivation. Why am I in this motivation? If you do that, first of all, just be aware. The awareness breaks you free, but be aware of that. Oh my God, I'm depressed again, or oh my God, I need to get out of this relationship. I need to get out of this. I need to get out of this. Um, the focus is where you need the awareness to be, meaning you need to be aware that you're focusing on it. You need to be aware that your attention is on it. The more you can be aware that your focus is on it, that your attention is on it, the more you'll be aware that that focus and attention is actually suffocating it. It's grabbing it. Another awareness. Wow, I'm grabbing this. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to make sense of it. Makes sense that we do this. Be aware of that. Then try to relax or release the grab or the fix. So depression is moving through me again. Um, Recognizing that I'm in an unhealthy relationship is arising again. Um, I'm in that space where there's nothing happening. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. That's happening again. I'm moving through that. Now, when you energetically start to experience what that feels like, you won't like it. It won't be comfortable. You'll go back in and grab. Just be aware of that. However, if you are in this space where you can sort of relax a little bit into it as if you're moving through it, then what I encourage you to do is to make choices. Okay. So let's say you're kind of just in this void where you're nothing's arising, you don't know what you're doing, you have no motivation, you're a little bit freaked out because you have no motivation, you don't really know what's next, you don't really know where to go or what to do, right? It's a really uncomfortable place that a lot of us are going to find ourselves in or are finding ourselves in right now. One, awareness that you're fixating on it. Why is this happening? How do I get rid of it? That's the first awareness. Um, Two, the second awareness, I'm moving through this. So this is a movement. This is just moving. I'm moving through this. And then three, you want to start to choose something else. So for me, like you want to start to choose to see a different lens, like an excitement around, oh my gosh, um, I can't wait until I'm deeper in this purpose work, right? Or I can't wait until I am um, m- moving my body in different ways, or I can't wait until, and I'm not, this is not a practice of manifestation because that's not how you manifest. This is a practice of recognizing the lenses that you're using and to be able to pull your focus out of the fixation and into something else. Right. So, what I've done the last couple of months is I've been in a very uncomfortable place of um, not knowing what's next, not having that drive or determination, not knowing what direction to go. There was no drive in me. There was no passion in me. There was nothing. Okay, so I allowed that to be okay with my work. I uncomfortably, with many temper tantrums, allowed that, meaning that I let it be. It's here. I didn't fixate on it as if there's something wrong or I need to figure something out, even though when I was in the moments where I need to figure this out, I allowed that to be okay. But eventually what I started doing was I realized that I am moving towards something else. I'm moving into something else. You have to realize you're moving into what's next, and then you're moving into what's next. You're always moving into something else. If you're in a river, are you stuck in the same place? If you're actually in the river, do you actually get stuck in something? No. The only reason you get stuck in the river is because you're grabbing some part of what is in the river and then you're stuck in it. And all you do in that river now is focus on what it is you're experiencing right then that you were only supposed to experience right then until something else is experienced. However, there may be rapids that last for quite some time. You have to let yourself be in it, knowing that you're going somewhere else. So, my question to you, for those of you that feel really stuck in something, where are you going? Now, it's not a it's more of like, what do you know is next? And even though you have no idea, do you understand? So you're not in control of it because you're in the river. So you really don't know what's next. You understand? But you want to focus on the fact that there is something next, i.e., getting yourself off the fixation of I'm stuck in this because you're not, and bringing your lens to what's next with the awareness that you don't actually know what's next, but you're excited for what's next and you're optimistic about what's next. So if you are feeling really low, really bored, uh, boredom is a big piece right now for a lot of people. Just the fire is out within you. You're just, what's the point? Right? A lot of us are at this place of, I'm not at that place, but a lot of us are at the place of, What's the point? Like, I have no desire. I have no, I'm not enjoying life, blah, 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 right? I want you to imagine that you are in the river and in this moment, that's what you're explaining. I mean, that's what you're experiencing. Okay. Correct. What else? Nothing's permanent. So, okay, that's what you're experiencing. So what? Yes, that is correct. Mhm. Do you realize you're in a river and that you're floating through whatever you're in? It's not going away. I don't care. Stop focusing on the fact that you think you're stuck in it. It's impossible to be stuck in it. That's an illusion. That's the illusion. You only feel stuck in something because you don't like it. You don't want to be in it and you're trying to control it. So you want to be aware of that. Oh my God, I want this out. I don't want to be in this. This feels so uncomfortable. I hate this. When is this going to go away? Can you be aware of that? And the moment you become aware of that is the moment you start to realize, holy shit, I'm in a river. I remember now, I'm floating. Life is always moving. I'm overwhelmed with things, but I'm hanging on by a thread to maintain some semblance of hope. Diana. So when you're overwhelmed, right? You get anxiety, you get stress, you're the overwhelm is you dropping deeper into being out of control, which is extremely uncomfortable. And the the deeper ask that life is having for you, Diana, right now is not hope, because hope is the forgetting of how miraculous life is. There is no hope in the way energy works and the way life works. Like it would be like looking at a river and being like, "Man, I hope that river keeps going." It's like, "Hope the river keeps going." What do you mean? The river knows what it's doing, right? Y- You don't want to hope because you're not giving yourself and this intense, magical, miraculous awakening credit. You want to know. You wanna have a deep, deep trust in knowingness in life. And that doesn't mean that life has to feel good all the time. It doesn't mean that it has to be comfortable. It just means that you are becoming more and more aware of how this energetic world actually works, Diana, and what you realize is, "Oh my god, I'm overwhelmed. Oh my god, I'm losing more and more of that sense of control because I most likely, something magical is about to present itself or may present itself in terms of the way in which you're going to start to experience life, which is counterintuitive to how and what you've been doing and being in life, which is that it's not about what's happening in your external world. It's not even about what's happening in your internal world. It's about realizing how you are innately designed to be in this world, which is that you are moving through this world. You're moving through it. So overwhelm is going to be there. The inability to control things are going to be there. Um, the need for more courage is going to be there. The distrust may be there. The anger may be there. The I've had enough may be there, but the ask that I have for you is there also something else here with you? Not necessarily like an angel or something, although angels are with you. Is there another way for you to start to experience what you're in, i.e., a different lens where nothing has to go away in terms of what you're experiencing? But the way in which you are viewing it and seeing it starts to shift. You start to tap into the magic of this world, which is that everything's in movement. You're not stuck in anything. You get to be humbled by everything you're experiencing, including autoimmune disease or anything else that's happening in the body. It's the humility, the humbleness, and the releasing of or relinquishing the control in order to actually understand how this magical energetic world works. Yes, being conscious of everything. Um, so even Diana, being conscious of the fact that you're so super overwhelmed, but you're holding hope. Throw hope out the fucking door, excuse my language. Throw hope. I'm hoping. No, 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 no. We don't hope. No, no, no. We trust. We know. Every time you say, "Man, I hope," I want you to imagine that you're looking at the river saying, "Man, I hope the river keeps going. Hope I get out of this. Hope I make the right decision. I hope this moves through me." It's like looking at a river and saying, "Man, I hope it keeps going." You know? Of course it does. But it's not you also wanna be humble with what you're experiencing and what you're going through. For me, it feels like I have an inner battle. There is one voice clinging and the other one hearing this other voice and saying that we can't let things go. But the first voice wins. Beautiful awareness, Patruda. So you're having just be aware of that. So there's an inner battle going on. Welcome to the human experience. Raise your hand if you have an inner battle. It's soul and the programmed human aspect over and over and over. One voice clinging and the other one hearing this other voice saying that we can let things go. Beautiful awareness. The first voice still wins for now. For now. You understand? Don't beat yourself up. That's the human condition. Is that when you start becoming aware, my friend, holy shit, you're like, "Oh, there is a massive battle within me." Where soul is trying to get you to remember how the world works. And this egoic structure that has been deeply, deeply programmed by this world says, "No, no, 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 that's not how it works. Don't you remember everything that happened in the past? You want that to happen again? You gotta stay in control." And your soul says, "No, you are here to step" thank you, Debbie. "You are here to step into new ways of being," and then you're being gifted that opportunity by feeling more, out of control, by feeling, more and more like you don't fit in perhaps, feeling more and more like you don't know where you're going or you don't know what to do. It's like, "Yes, please trust this." "But it's not how I normally have lived." Exactly. And then but then you fall back into that, kind of old programmed way. Beautiful, of course you did. Bravo. You fell back into it, right? Good. Guess what? You're gonna have another opportunity. Then you're gonna have another opportunity. You're gonna have 17,000,000 opportunities in the next month and 2 months and 3 months to continue to be aware of this battle. This battle doesn't just instantaneously, "Whoop," go away. There is no miraculous poof. Not for most of us. This is a I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired until I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired until I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired until I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then and unbeknownst to us, literally like we don't have control, something eventually that's the Tetris, right? So you wanna stay, my friend, in that constant awareness of that inner battle. Good job. Bravo. That's the quote unquote work. That's the evolution. This idea that you are going to somehow sit in some sort of state where you're going to raise your frequency by continuing to choose um, emotions that feel really good, right? That that is a beautiful tool if you are fixated on a specific emotion that you think that you are. However, if you start to bring yourself into a state of awareness, which is like, oh my God, I'm in a river where everything is experienced, and I am aware that I believe that I'm all these things, then you start moving. You don't need to bring yourself into anything because that's still a sense of control. And that is true awakening. So you start to realize more and more the battle, the inner battle, the external battle, and it becomes a wild ride because no matter what you try to bring yourself into as much as you can, you're going to find you will, I promise you, you will find yourself in states of suffering longer if you try to bring yourself into joy or peace or love or all of these things. And I'll tell you why. Because you're still fixated on feeling certain things in order for you to get out of what you are fixating on that you don't want to be in. And the river just allows whatever it is in until it's out of it. So you don't want to fixate on what you're trying to get out of or fixate on how you want to feel. You want to recognize that this is the process of movement, and what is my lens fixated on, and can I open my lens enough to be able to see multiple experiences at once. And so you would imagine that you are recognizing that you are um, um, having the inner battle, and then you would be aware of the inner battle, then you would be aware of what you were fixated on, then you would be aware of what else may be available, you would be aware of what soul is calling you to, you would be aware of what you're afraid of, right? You start juggling a lot of different experiences all at once. We're not here to have one singular fixated experience. This is in every single moment, there are multiple experiences that you're having. Awareness of gradually dissolves everything. Mm. What other questions is somebody curious about? It's getting good out there. It's getting good out there. Hi, Maria. Getting good out there. Darkness dissolves. Darkness dissolves. What's up? No questions? Suddenly wanting a coconut milk vanilla latte with an extra shot. So good. Can you reflect, Gretchen? Can you reflect on how to be in the moment while also reaching for your heart's desire? Yes. So, Gretchen, when you are in the moment, like when you are present with what's arising. So, let's just say you are in a job you don't like, or a relationship that doesn't feel good anymore, or a roommate situation that is just really uncomfortable, um, whatever it is, right? It's not your quote unquote heart's desire. It's not where you feel most aligned. Okay. So, first of all, you want to be aware, even more aware, Gretchen, of the fact that you are experiencing that. So you want to turn on the lights of like, wow, I'm watching myself. I don't like this job. I'm watching myself. I don't like being in this anymore. I'm watching myself. I'm in this. I'm in this. I'm in this. What are you in? Really ask yourself, what am I in? Okay, because what that does is it pulls you out of being it. Okay, so it literally it shifts your lens. And it's imperative that you start shifting the lens. So when you shift the lens, you don't get out of what you're in. You see yourself in something. Do you understand? That's the first piece. You want to start continuing to see yourself in something. That's why it takes so much courage to be human, to be awake in the human, because you have to be aware of what you're in. So what happens is that we become so unconscious that we're just bitching and moaning about what we're in, right? And I just want out of this. I don't understand why I'm still in this. This sucks. But you're still unconsciously thinking that you are what you're experiencing. So the first thing is that you want to start to realize I'm in something. I'm in a job I can't stand. I am in a relationship that I can't wait to get out of. I am in unmotivation, and man, I can't wait till I'm out of that. You realize I am in something that moves. Nothing is permanent. That is so important. Now, then, at the exact same time, or in 2 minutes later, or an hour later, or at some point, you want to hold another lens, which is, wow, how do I want to feel? How do I actually want to feel? Or what do I want to be? What do I want to experience? Shift the lens. So for me, the last 2 months or 3 months, it was like, man, I do not want to keep doing my work the way the world wants me to, or the way that I've been doing it. I don't want to. And so I've been in my work, um, knowing that it doesn't feel right anymore. It feels uncomfortable. It feels out of alignment. It feels like there's something else, right? There's something bigger. There's just something else that's available, but I don't know what it is. And so what I did and what I do is I will focus on what it feels like to be in what I'm imagining myself in. So for me, it was like really feeling that sense of purpose, really feeling into being all of me without kind of this insecurity or unworthiness. It was like, oh man, I can feel that. I know what that feels like. So you start to shift from, but you still stay in what you're in. So again, you're not necessarily in control of what's happening, but you want to hold different lenses. So you are in the lens. First lens is I'm in this, okay? Whatever it is you're in, Gretchen, you're in it, i.e. moving it through it, and you're simultaneously also holding your heart's desire. What is it that you are wanting to feel or to be in or to experience? It's not black or white. It's all of it at the same time. And you don't want to give up on the lens that isn't physically presented to you right now. So let's just say that you really don't like your job, but you're starting to pull in your heart's desire. So even if you don't know the specifics of this job or what this is, what do you feel like? How do you feel in the world? How do you want to feel? And then you start to hold both at the same time. You don't resist this. The fastest way through anything is accepting what is. People are like, well, if you accept it, then it is. My friend, it already is. If you just simply accept it and start to move through it while you continue to hold your heart's desire, fucking miracles will happen. I promise you. Because now you're not trying to fix this or change this. This just simply is. You relax into it, holding these deeper desires over and over and over again. And then the quantum field shows you how the quantum field is designed to be, and you say, "Holy shit, I've never really been in control. I'm just choosing the lenses that I wanna use in this life." It's all up to you, it's choice, and thoughts are gonna keep you in this. Thoughts are gonna keep you out of the heart's desire. So the more that you can bring awareness to the thoughts around this, the more empowered you will be in being able to hold both lenses. You don't give a shit. So what if you're in this? A horrible job, you already know that you're moving into something else, so it's like, "Okay, I just can't wait until this is happening." It's the idea that you're stuck in this and that nothing's ever gonna change that keeps you in this. You have to pull up your big girl, big boy pants, and you have to start choosing a different lens, even when and if that lens is not physically in the reality with you yet, i.e., it's not in the part of the river where you're experiencing it yet. Pull them up. Does that make sense, Gretchen? How do we feel meaning when we feel that everything is meaningless, when we are so, so, so tired that we no longer find meaning or inspiration in anything, when we completely indifferent? Allow that moment to be okay, starry sky. That's just what you're experiencing right now. Nothing needs to change because it will eventually change. But that's the place in the river that you're at. Hi, Michelle. Um, Why are there so many sheep and dressed in sheep? Why are there so many wolves dressed in sheep's clothing these days? What a beautiful awareness, Tina, that you are aware of that. Because what happens is that many, many people have very, very powerful purposes on the planet, very powerful signatures. Um, i.e., really important roles to shift humanity. People in your everyday life, right? People with a lot of charisma, people with a lot of influence. Um, and this can be family members, friends, people you watch online. What ends up happening to a lot of these people is that the egoic structure gets lost in translation. So, it gets lost in the, let's say, money, or it gets lost in the power, it gets lost in the influence, it gets lost in the feeling around those things. And then the human psyche believes that it's that influence or that power or that money or that whatever that is, and it forgets, and that's what drives the human, instead of the actual simple potent signature that's not connected to the power or the influence or the money or the whatever that is. And so what's happening to a lot of incredible humans right now that are here to do some really powerful work is that they're getting lost in the sauce. They're really getting caught up in the egoic structure of it all. And so you will start to kind of see through that, and it's really unfortunate, but you'll see more and more of it just because the human condition is so potent and powerful, and it's easy to get lost in it. It's easy to it's very, very, very difficult because we have a lot of trauma. We have a lot of trauma, and trauma typically, no matter who you are, what you do, what you say, trauma usually dictates how we be in the world. And so, no matter what knowledge we have, trauma will dictate, unfortunately. So, um, it's really, really, really challenging to stay super aligned with that soul signature. And what a honor it is to watch everyone do the best they can. We're all doing the best we can, and but you can feel it. You can feel that. You can feel that. It's really powerful. Um, Yeah, there are all these messages. It's the awakening. It's a repeated record, right? We're always talking about it. It's the same thing, repeating, 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 because we forget. Every moment we forget. Every day we forget. Then you hear it again, and you're like, I've already heard this 17,000 times. Yep. But until we start being it over and over and over again, we need to hear it over and over and over again. Hearing it and understanding it is very different than being it. It's very, very different. So you kind of are like, I'm so sick and tired of hearing this. I already know all of this. Um, but once you start being it more and more, it's humanity needs the record player over and over and over and over. What are your feelings on whether entity psychic attacks are real, and how do you discern if you are actually experiencing one? Such a great question. Yes, I 100% believe in kind of entity attacks or psychic attacks. Not to try to like fear base, put people into fear, but it's very, very real. And it's possible that it will become more amped up because we are becoming more energetic, which means that we are beginning to open ourselves into the experience of being in an energetic world. And so when you do that, which is how we're designed to be, imagine that there's a physical body, which is what's right here, and there is energy inside that physical body, and there's a soul or spirit inside that energy. And we're designed to be open, sort of like radars going out, feeling into everything. Okay. And what can happen when we start recognizing and kind of opening ourselves? So our antennas are going out, we're starting to feel more and more. What can happen is that you start to experience or um, you start to engage with energies or people or experiences that can I'm trying to describe this in as easy a way as possible to understand it. They the when you're engaging with somebody else, if you are open and, you know, um, engaging in a more, energetic way, so you're just feeling more, you're experiencing more, entities can kind of like, they can creep in. They can find a little, um they can sneak their ways in. Now, this doesn't happen j just because you start experiencing the world more energetically does not mean you're going to have entities in you or on you or attacking you at all. No. No. No, 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 no. But it's possible that this may be experienced by more people right now because we are opening up more and more. And so the way you will feel that there is something in you or something that was attached to you, usually it comes from someone else. And usually that person doesn't know that there are entities attached to them. Um, but you will not feel like yourself. You will literally feel like something has taken over. Like You'll it can feel very scary, like something has now come in and taken over your mind, over your thoughts. Um, you will feel like you're not you, and this is a very different feeling than just kind of the natural, normal, "Oh my god, I don't know who I am." It's very different. It is like my experience feels it felt like, and I've had it a couple of times, it felt like I needed to go to, like, a mental institute. I was like, I'm losing my mind." And when you become more and more aware and sort of, energetic, um, you'll be able to feel like, okay, something's very off. And how you get rid of it is you recognize that something's probably in you and you demand it and command it out. That simple. You have to just simply courageously, like a fucking lion, command and demand it out. That's it. Entities have to leave. They will leave when you recognize something's in you and then you command it and demand it out. You don't have to go to all these different healers or all these different energy workers. It's just the moment you realize something is off, you'll intuitively realize, holy shit, there's something in me. And then you sit and you command whatever is in you out of you. Thanks, Gretchen. I appreciate that. You have to command them out, however that works for you. And if it takes a little while, like you command it out and then a couple of hours later you kind of still feel it in there, do not be afraid of the entities. Stand in your power and command that shit out and then get real clear on who you're hanging out with or who you're listening to. Go back and recognize when you felt it. And then just have the awareness of when it possibly came in. Were you listening to something? Were you watching someone? Were you hanging out with someone? These people are not bad, okay? But it's just you need to have that awareness so that if and when you listen to that again or you hang out with that person again, you are very, very aware that you have to protect yourself from that. And then it becomes an insane spiritual battle. Insane. Yeah, totally, John. Like if you can actually feel the entity kind of trying to move near you, you can be like, "Yo, peace out. You're not getting in here." So when we're unconscious, we may not even realize that there are entities that have just sucked into you. I was very unconscious when I got an entity the first time about 2 years ago. I was like, "What in the hell is this?" And then the more that I started to really become even more energized or energetic in the world, I would notice, and I knew who it came from, and so I had more of a control around it. Does that help? I hope that helps. Thank you for that super chat. Whoever just sent that super chat, thank you. Um, Gaslit with seduction. Ooh, that's powerful. Gaslit with seduction. Yeah. Usually when entities come in, they come in from someone else and um they want to kind of snuggle into your light. You're welcome, Beth. I'm glad you asked the question. I also recommend before I get going not to like always be like, is there an entity? Is this an entity? But feeling uncomfortable, feeling emotions, feeling depressed, feeling these things, like the natural feeling of it when you're used to it, that's not an entity. You will know. You will know. Command and demand it. How do I protect myself? Sometimes I feel like I need to protect myself. Most of the time I don't. If I am around certain people or if I'm around certain experiences, certain places, and I feel like I need to protect myself, I will. And here's how I feel like I need to protect myself. If I'm around someone where I can feel a lot of heavy entities in them or around them, it can feel like I'm energetically battling something. Now, again, this isn't about the person. This is about the energies that are around them or in them. It will feel like I will feel like I need to, like there's something I'm fighting. It's really weird. It's really hard to explain. Um, And so I will either move away from that individual, not hang out with them, or I will there's this feeling of, like, recognizing that I'm in my body in that moment, and that I am protected. So I'll just feel like a light, like I'm shielded, but it's an awareness that I have to bring into me. I have to feel that, and I don't go out in the world protecting myself, like, "I'm now leaving, and I'm gonna shield myself," because we're naturally designed to be safe in the world no matter who we're with and what we're doing and where we go. We're always naturally in that safe, protective space. But if I do feel like I'm about to battle something or I'm battling something, I can feel it. It's very rare, but I'll feel it. Um, and it's in that moment where I'm like, oh, we're now energetically battling. I'm going to either walk the freak away or I'm going to stand and recognize there's this huge light around me. And then it's just a battle. Yeah, I can't explain it any other way. But I don't wake up and put a protective shield around me. I don't walk out into the world every day and protect myself. I don't go into the grocery store with the protection. I don't go into my yoga studio protecting myself. I don't do that. I don't feel the need to. Um, but if I'm engaging with something that I know is gonna be pretty dark or pretty uncomfortable in terms of, like, you just kinda know, um, then I'll feel deeply, deeply grounded. The more grounded you can feel, um, the safer you are, you know? I don't believe in, like, the need for us to constantly protect ourselves and shield ourselves, but if you are feeling like things are constantly coming into you or impacting you, feel deeper into your body, feel your feet on the ground, feel your light, feel the energy field around you, feel how powerful you are, feel how much you are in control, feel how powerful a command is, that kind of stuff. All right, you guys. What if the battle is when you're around your family? It very much can be. You have to start becoming more and more acutely aware of that energetic battle, my friend. And you have to you may be kind of quote unquote working harder at keeping yourself in that sort of light bubble, that light container. Um, and I would do less sort of fighting with them verbally or aggressively, or um, I would get more quiet and I would get more firm in my energetic power. Because the louder we get with our voices, it's very possible that we're not in our true authentic power energetically. When you start to argue with people more and more or fight them more and more, you're in the mind, which is not the body, and it's not you're not in your power, your light. So when you can get quieter and not respond, just try this. Try not responding necessarily through an argumentative anything. Just what happens if you just get silent and you can feel the power of your light. You can feel the power of who you are. You can feel the power of you. Watch, recognize how the difference in that. Start doing that more and more in your family and friends that you are around. Stop trying to argue your point or to tell them how they're wrong or to tell them this and that, and just see what happens when you actually just um, you don't play in it in the same way. You'll start to become more aware energetically. Anyway, click the like button, you guys. Click the like button. I'll see you next week. next Tuesday. If you are in my Patreon, I'll see you in a couple of hours. If you want to join my Patreon, we're doing a live Q&A, very similar to this. Um, I'll be answering a ton of questions today, 12 p.m. California time, in my Patreon online community. I don't know why you wouldn't join. It's freaking incredible. 5 live events a month. The link, I believe, is down in the description. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And be humble, be gentle, be compassionate, be kind to you and to all the other humans out there navigating navigating their evolution. I love you. See you soon. Mwah.